Hi, I'm Dave Casey, founder of the Innovation Leaders Club. In this video, we'll look at how to define an innovation vision. There's an issue when it comes to innovation management. People are too tactical. They are too monthly or yearly basis, sometimes just a year ahead in their planning. Defining a vision is key because vision is the ultimate destination. In some cases, it's 5, 10 years, even more than that, but it stays over the years, that destination. That vision that we can communicate is a powerful tool also to manage changes, because one thing is obvious, things will change as you move along into innovation program, but most of the time vision will stay the same. So when you communicate a strong vision, it's a very powerful way of making things happen and get people working towards the same goal. So let's have a look.
This video from the Innovation Leaders Club will explain how to define the vision of your strategic arenas. After strategic arenas are identified, it is essential to define a vision in order to properly establish their goals and milestones. In order to do so, you will be required to project the business 3 to 10 years into the future to envision its desired state. We have developed a 60-page visual guidebook on how to develop an innovation strategy. It is a fully illustrated step-by-step guide to building the foundation of an innovation system. Click the link in the description below to download it for free. The vision is where you and your team foresee the strategic arena in the future. It requires you to project yourself in the future and imagine the consumer trends and technology evolution that far in time. Let's start with the 3 to 10 year vision. An efficient tool is to set the preliminary vision. These are the significant milestones that the strategic arena needs to reach in the following years. The idea is to define such a vision with a long horizon, let's say 10 years, and break it down into smaller increments such as 5 years of objective and the next 3 years. By doing so, you have a rationale, a final destination to evaluate your program roadmap. Note that the roadmap will be presented in another module. To define each objective with 5 to 6 words, keep it short, unambiguous, and concise. Then quantify your objective in the column on the right. If your vision is simple and clear, you can show this page to someone, they will look at it for 2 minutes, and then they can turn the page over and summarize it.
What you saw is a powerful tool. In fact, it's a simple arrow, which on the right-hand side you will have the quantitative information, so there's numbers, and on the left-hand side you will have the qualitative information. So if you look at the end of that arrow, what is interesting is you really have the destination. I had the privilege to coach a lot of innovation leaders, and I keep telling them that when you present your vision, make sure that you start by presenting the destination, so the end of the arrow. In some cases, it may be 2030, 2033. I even see 2040 and 2050 these days. People, they look as far as they can, and ultimately that's what they present. And then, let's say if you have a 2030, then you come back, okay, today, what we have, and tomorrow, next year, and the year after. So you can show at very high level the vision where you want to go. So keep in mind, it's a vision, it's not a roadmap. So the difference between a roadmap and a vision, people do remember the vision. So have minimum information for people to remember. So usually you can present something in less than 2 minutes, and you could give a blank sheet to someone with a pen, and he could rewrite most of what was on the vision arrow because it was really simple and they understand and remember it. So that's how you can use it.
The next element of the vision is the competitive stance. There are different strategies when it comes to the competitive stance. 3 competitive stance strategies are proposed and 1 resulting strategy if none are selected. The first strategy is the innovator. It is a pioneer strategy. The innovator is always first to market with technology or innovation, enjoys a short-term monopoly, but at the expense of high market entry costs and uncertainties. However, note that an organization cannot hold an innovator stance in all strategic arenas. It would be too costly. Usually, the organization chooses a few key strategic arenas in which it chooses to be an innovator. Most of the technological startups are applying this strategy since they have nothing to lose and everything to win. The most common stance is the agile follower strategy. It is also known as the second but better, since the follower has the opportunity to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the innovators and address them. As a matter of fact, the imitation strategy targets directly the succession of pioneers, but imitating isn't truly an innovation. A good agile follower will induce its own twist to differentiate its offer. Since there are already users, the follower can have an innovative development that is better user-oriented, further than the already introduced innovations. Apple or Toyota products are a good example of a second but better approach. Nonetheless, there is a difference between the early and the late followers. The early followers are proactive in the sense that they were probably already developing the innovation when the innovators launched it. They can use the delay between the innovator launch and theirs to refine their offering with the observation of the innovator's offering. This proactiveness allows them to be fast. However, a late follower reacts to the launch of an offering to initiate the development, which makes him somewhat late. These various competitive stance strategies can be represented on a matrix, where the horizontal axis is the proactive versus the reactive approach, while on the vertical axis is the importance of innovation for the organization and the innovator adopts a proactive strategy and innovation is crucial. As the industry prospector, values being first in with innovations and technologies and responds rapidly to early signals pointing to new opportunities. On the other side, the agile follower adopts a reactive approach towards innovation, but innovation is still critical. The agile followers are analyzers or second but better. They carefully monitor the actions of competitors, and they move quickly to copy and enhance an innovator's offer. Then there are those for whom innovation has minimal importance. Those that are still proactive are called defender. They attempt to maintain a secured position or a niche in a stable area, and they do everything to protect their domain by offering higher quality or lower prices. The last approach is a residual strategy, in the sense that no one chooses to be a reactor. It is the strategy by default due to a lack of choice of another strategy. Those falling into this strategy are not aggressively maintaining established offers and markets. They respond to competitive offerings only when they are forced to by competitors or external forces. In the end, it is an inconsistent strategy.
Identifying the competitive stance at the vision level is really interesting. Most of the organization, they want to be innovators. They want to be first on the market. But we have to keep in mind being first on the market is really expensive. So you are the one who has to educate, promote, and make people to be aware that this offering exists. But also if there's technology related, you will have to be the one developing that technology. So if you're to plan your innovation programs, let's say you have 4 programs, it could be interesting that, let's say, 2 of them are where you'll be the innovator, you'll be first on the market, but the 2 other programs, so 50% of your innovation programs, will be agile follower, or you could be like a second but better. Because in some cases, it's very profitable to come early as a quick second. And if you look at the division of innovation curve, you will notice that the early adopters represent only a small percentage of the overall market. So if you come seconds, there's still a lot of market that you may capture. So keep in mind, not always being first is the right decision and the right vision to have. So being a fast follower, agile follower, in some cases I would call like a second but better, could be a good strategy to also have.
Except for the reactive strategy, there is no strong evidence that innovator, fast follower, or niche works best. It depends on many factors, your strengths and the strategy of your competitors. If your competitors are all reactors and defenders in the targeted strategic arena, it could be interesting to adopt an opposite strategy and be the innovator. On the contrary, if most of them are innovators, you could have a lot of advantage as an agile follower. The following tool helps to visualize within competitive stance strategy to adopt, but do the assessment and select a strategy. Don't drift. Depending on the strategy selected, it will affect your attack plan. For the innovator who values being first in with innovations and technologies, it means that they will develop its core competencies around technology, IP, and technological skills. Excel at anticipating market trends by engaging heavily in voice of customer research to identify unmet needs, such as lead users, ethnography, and others. Make substantial risky investments in innovations such as internal developments, joint ventures, and acquisitions. And also, undertake leading-edge and sometimes fundamental research, often with universities and labs, and engage in open innovation to always have the cutting-edge technology. The main advantages are first-mover advantage and possibly the chance of imposing its design. It can ultimately lead to the dominant design, which means any competitor will try to copy the innovator's design. Higher margins if everything works out as planned. On the other hand, the disadvantages are high risk taken with a chance of losing part or all the investments made in a given development. Leading-edge work is challenging since you usually must educate the masses. The agile follower will have a different attack plan since their approach is to carefully monitor actions of competitors and by moving quickly, try to bring a superior offer to the market with more cost-efficient or better features and user benefits. It is the most popular strategy due to its investing in known market opportunities. The core competencies to develop are engineering, development, and applications. Of course, monitoring the market environment to identify and qualify emerging markets and needs created by others is also part of the competencies to develop. And it is done by using the voice of customer to uncover potential weaknesses and dissatisfactions with innovators' offers. The agile follower will also make substantial investments, but not as high risk as innovators. It is the main advantage of being an agile follower, innovating with lower risk. However, the disadvantages are it needs a very good market reading, which is something challenging in B2B markets, and it requires a swift development process. The defender will put little emphasis on innovation as a leading edge to their business strategy, but still develop innovations and markets. They will locate and maintain a secure position in a relatively stable market or area. Also, they will look to maintain their position by providing higher quality, better service, or lower prices. However, with increasing innovation pressure, it is declining in popularity as a strategy. It is very unlikely for an organization having selected a promising strategic arena to adopt this competitive stance strategy. However, it is most likely to be on current strategic arenas which were not selected as part of the proactive innovation strategy. The reactor will not be addressed here since it is irrelevant. You have defined a proactive innovation strategy. Then you can envision the future one.
Defining innovation vision is a simple but powerful tool. I keep telling innovators that using that tool, this is how you communicate the passion behind innovation. This is how you will communicate an ultimate dream that we want to achieve. We have to ensure that innovation, there is ambition, and ambition gets communicated through a vision. And like I was mentioning earlier, the dream, a lot of innovations started with a small dream that ultimately got bigger. I'll give an example in the past history. If you look in the United States back in the early 60s, J.F. Kennedy told the American that he wanted to have people, human, on the moon by the end of the 60s, and they ended up achieving it in 69. So you see, a vision can be very easy to communicate. And again, I keep telling the innovators to repeat and repeat and keep repeating their vision. You will never repeat it enough. Ultimately, for people to understand and share that dream and ultimately get people to be behind the same vision and working together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Looking forward to see you in the next one.
If you haven't already done so, you can get your hands on our popular 60-page visual guidebook for free. Click the link in the description below. Don't hesitate to watch the next video to learn even more about innovation management practices.